Hello. Quick check. Am I audible? All right. I hope my screen is visible as well. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm visible as well. Or yeah, should be good. The session is being recorded and it's also live streamed. I'm glad to see there are hundreds of people joining this webinar. And I also see many of you have 50% have a basic Pandas knowledge. That's great. Okay, so my name is Ashok Veda, and this is my first live LinkedIn bootcamp on my name. So I wanted to do this for quite some time, but now I have some time to do it. So this is my first one. So today's bootcamp is about PandasAI, which is a new package. So you can find about the GitHub and the details about the package by just Googling. So I'm not going to go into the details. What I'm really excited about this package is that this is something I wanted a few years ago, 2019, 2020. I thought this will be cool, right? You see in the science fiction movies, you essentially talk to the system, say, I want this, I want that, and boom, you have it. Well, that's not a fiction anymore. It is possible now. So this bootcamp is just going to give you a primer on that, to give you a broader awareness of it. And of course, you can experiment further and essentially build tools, which looks like science fiction movies, where you can actually talk to them, get answers with the insights and suggestions, etc. Okay. All right. So yeah, 50% people know about Pandas. That's very good. I'm ending the talk. All right. So I'm gonna, well, most people know Pandas here. So 50%. So other 50% doesn't know Pandas. So I'm going to give a very brief AI, 5 minutes, and then we'll talk about Pandas overview in a very high level. And then we'll get into PandasAI. What is PandasAI? And most of this session would be hands-on. So I would like to show you how it works, how the Pandas AI library works. So we will do it. We'll do a bit of coding and bit of questions. We'll take a database, a standard data set, and we do that, right? Okay. And I'll talk about the career impacts, of course. So if you look at AI, it's actually not new. I mean, there are references. People tried to do AI hundreds of years ago. But it's officially coined in 1956. John McCarthy, professor at Stanford, has coined it. And then there were a lot of people trying to get it working because it was very exciting, right? The concept of artificial intelligence, a machine thinking like humans, right? It's a very exciting concept, especially for industries, business, because this is the time when you talk about 1970s, 1960s, the world is becoming more free. So the slavery is going off, the colonization era is ending, right? So you have a shortage of labor, right? Most of the people who built great things in our human history, actually slaves. So when the slavery is going off, you have an imminent requirement for labor. And people have the freedom now. They will not be working as they were working before. The idea of AI was really interesting for the business because if AI can actually do what people used to do before, then it is, it's kind of like really helps a business. It kind of, that's a kind of the need for an hour in those periods. So a lot of businesses invested a lot of money in between 1960, 1970, and 1980. But there was nothing really happened. We call it as a AI winter, this period. See if I can write. Yeah, I can write. So this period is called of AI winter. There's a lot of advancements done in terms of mathematical research algorithms, but there is no real learning algorithm that to create. But that all changed in around 1990s. I would say it's not mentioned here, but Jeffrey Hinton, who recently resigned Google, if you have seen the news, he is the chief AI for Google, and he's the one who actually invented backprop algorithm, backpropagation algorithm. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but around 1990s is where all it started again, because we proved, Jeffrey Hinton's paper, algorithm, proved that machines can learn, the algorithms can learn from the data. From there, there's a constant technological advancement as well as modern algorithms being developed, right? In around 2015, this has become more what we call it as democratized. Democratization of the algorithms, because before that, it was more like a rocket science. Very few folks, group of folks actually used to do the AI because it's a really, really rocket science, right? In around 2015, it has become more an applied science, right? It has become more democratized. Credit goes to a lot of people have done it, but Coursera founder Andrew Ng was one of the first persons to actually put the online courses, which essentially teaches how to do the machine learning modeling and the concepts behind it, right? Even today, they are very popular. This is where a lot of people around the world started learning AI, started learning machine learning, putting a lot of efforts, a lot of open projects being started. And you can see from 2015 till today, 2023, there was I would say, absolutely magnificent projects have been released. There's so many projects, difficult to comprehend even. And the AI field itself cut across all the industries, not just in POCs. Most of the companies are using AI algorithms as AI. This is the brief history of AI, a very high level. And you would have heard about a lot of, when you say AI, it's more like an umbrella term. Like when you say human intelligence, right? It's not just your brain. Well, brain is the one which learns, it processes, stores memory, but it's a lot of other senses, your eyes, your ears, your touch, your smell, and all of these senses have its own intelligence, right? So human intelligence is made up of many different areas, many different, you know, uh, the similar manner, artificial intelligence, AI, also has many different areas. For example, one of the biggest thing is your machine learning, and of course, deep learning, right? This deals with a learning part, which learns from the data, right? And then you have the advanced version of it, where you have it's more applied, the perceiving and acting. So you talk about computer vision, your most of the projects you see are based on computer vision, from looking at the X-rays, guiding the healthcare, diagnosing diseases by looking at it, traffic control, autonomous vehicles. A lot of things are happening in computer vision, which is built upon deep learning algorithms, machine learning. And then you have NLP. Well, your ChatGPT comes under NLP, which is a language model, large scale language model, LLM, what we call, and of course, robotics. And then there's a lot of other things. For example, this is problem solving, this is decision making, and et cetera, right? We are looking at this part of it, which is essentially a large language models. And popularly, you can imagine ChatGPT is one of them. Specific use of generative AI, ChatGPT is what everyone knows. It's been a buzzword past few months. So that's about AI, right? And Pandas, I'm not going to the syntax and stuff. It's one of the most popular Python package out there. Almost every data scientist, BI, analytics folks, AI applications, everything, they use Pandas for data manipulation, data preparation, right? And it's released in first 2008 January. Okay, that's Pandas, and 50% of the people attending the session already know the Pandas. So what we're talking about today is essentially a combination of it. So we have Pandas, which has a capability of analyzing a large data, right? Of course, you need to know how to use it. There's a bunch of syntax, bunch of commands you need to write, but you essentially can analyze the data, prepare the data, manipulate the data, plot whatever you want, cut and slice, dice the data, and analyze it using Pandas. On the other hand, you have, let's say, LLMs, which is, I'm going to simply call ChatGPT. It's easy to relate to ChatGPT, all right, which can understand human language. And it's brilliant because if you really look at the way we are still working with the machines, we are still poking it. You're typing it or clicking it like I'm doing right now, right? So it's like, that's not the way you talk to other human. You're not poking other humans. Your human interaction is more natural. You talk to them, right? They understand it. And this is going to be the future. I mean, I would say it's present because your LLMs already made it possible. So you can literally speak in your natural language and your system can understand. And the best example is the ChatGPT itself. So we are actually blurring the line between man and machine communication. So you will be talking to machines as you're going to talk, as you're talking to other humans. So the combination is just a beginning. So on PandasAI, I would say it's still not mature. It's just it's a beginning, all right? Combines these two powers, and thereby you can literally give a natural commands to PandasAI, like what we say in a natural language, something like, hey, can you show me the last year sales? Can you tell how much percentage increase in the revenue? Something like that. And the ChatGPT, I think that's the next slide talking about it, if I'm not wrong. So this is how it works. So you give a simple human commands, like you basically ask the questions about the business, about the data, and your ChatGPT will take it. It basically tokenizes it. So it essentially gets the crux of it, understands the natural question. It formulates into the way that Pandas actually understands, the Pandas syntax. And then it basically gives you the output. That's all about PandasAI. Okay. All right. So we're going to jump into the hands-on. Before that, if any questions, I would say please put the questions in the Q&A because the chat box is flooded. We have hundreds of people, right? So it's actually kind of flooded. So if you have a specific question, put it on the Q&A section. I'll pause for 30 seconds or a minute. My first question, where data science lies? Okay. I don't understand. You mean lies like lies? Please clarify the question. Okay. I have a question about mentorship. You can put it yes. Of course, I dedicate significant of my time to provide mentorship. Yeah, we can contact data for that because I work with them in that sphere. So they can take it better. Venkat Lakshmi, NumPy AI. Well, you don't need a NumPy, right? So essentially, there is another package called NumPy, numerical Python, right? NumPy, right? So essentially, Pandas is built over NumPy, all right? NumPy deals with all kinds of scalable numerical operations. Pandas is actually built over NumPy, and Pandas is the one which does the data analysis, right? I don't think we need a numerical NumPy. PandasAI is free. All right, good. So I'll pause the questions here. Let's jump into. You can put it over there. At the end of the session, I'll answer all the questions. All right. So I'm going to use a simple collab for most of these experiments because it's easy. Anyone can do it. Anyone with a Google account can simply go ahead and go to the drive and say, open up a co-laboratory file, just like your Google Docs. It's a free cloud laboratory from Google. Okay. I know most people are aware of it here. If you are not aware, right? You simply say connect. I hope the font is okay. Should I increase the font size? So keep the file name as Pandas. Yeah. Before we jump into this, let me show you the data sets I have collected for this. This entire ID is created only for this. I'm going to share the file to you so that you can experiment after this bootcamp. Okay. So I basically have created some of the files over here. So I have a file called orders. I'm going to just open it up for you to show you. I'll open up the Google Sheets. This is a simple database of orders. You can imagine it's a retail company, right? It's more like, let's say, Amazon, right? Amazon retail or any retail, Walmart, right? So if you look at it, you have the order ID, of course, and then you have order date, shipment mode, customer ID, customer name, segment, country, state, city, postal code, and it talks about the products as well, product ID, product category, subcategory, name of the product, and then some discounts, what's the sale, how many quantity, and profit, right? So this is one record is one order from a customer, all right? And likewise, we have, if you just click here, we have, 5 records less 10,000. So we have 10,000 records. You know, for Pandas, 10,000 is really a small number, right? It can easily digest that. All right. So I have also made, I've taken, because the file you have seen right now, it's a flag. It has all the information, right? Typically in a relational database management system, you won't have everything in one place. So I've taken only 20 records just to show you. We're going to use it for our PandasAI demo. So I have taken top 20, just taken 20 from the previous database I've showed you, right? And I only kept the orders related data over here. You have order ID, order date, customer ID, product ID, sales, quantity, and profit. Okay. So we don't know who is the customer. We only have customer ID. And then you have customers database, which essentially these are the customers who have done this 20 orders, right? They have the name, segment, which country, city, which state, and the postcode. This is about customer information. And you have product information. The 20 orders we have seen, these are the 20 products actually they have ordered. So you have product ID, what is the category of the product, and what's the name of the product they actually ordered, all right? We will revisit all of this very soon, all right? First, let us go and set up the Pandas. So I'm going to write some code. So people who are not aware of code, please ignore it because it's not really important, right? I want to show it live, so I'm writing it. It's a simple piece of code, so you don't have to worry about it. I always ignore the warnings because it's kind of like flag the book. So we need to install PandasAI. Say in Google Colab, it's actually pretty easy. So simply say install PandasAI. It's gonna take a few seconds to install it. Yeah, so it does actually install. It says you have to restart it, but that's okay. I think it should work without restarting. I'm gonna clear out the outputs because it's messy. Now it's installed now, right? And then we can actually also import Pandas. Pandas comes by default. I'm gonna say called SPD. I'm gonna also import PandasAI. I can say from PandasAI. I can actually don't have to worry too much about it. I can just Google for it. Simply template of the lines. PandasAI, just type it. It's in the repository pi.org, and you can just go here. I can say it's install, and then I'm just gonna template these few things that we cover here. All right, so now we have PandasAI imported. No errors being shown. Wonderful. Let me connect to, so if you look at our presentation, so one is the Pandas part, this one, which we have installed, very good. And then we need to also use the ChatGPT power, right? So PandasAI itself doesn't have an inbuilt, just it uses the external LLMs, right? One of the popular one is ChatGPT itself. So I'm going to go to OpenAI, which is the platform.openai. All right, so I already have an account with it. So you can create an account. It takes any debit card, or credit card. And if you go to the view keys, so then I'm going to create a key just for now, and then I'm going to remove the key. Otherwise, you do the experiment, I go to there. Not fair. So handles AI. So I'll just put it like that, and then copy the key. I'll just put the key here for now. Right, and then go to my this place and see. So this is the code where you actually take the key. This is like simply importing your OpenAI module from PandasAI, and then you essentially put your API token over here. The money, it's actually pretty cheap. They charge about $0.02 per 1,000 tokens. So token is essentially every single word. Usually, whatever experiments you do in whatever scalable manner, the bill per month usually comes in single-digit dollars, $3, $4. So it's not expensive. So feel free to take it. Now I have Pandas. Now I have connected my ChatGPT, which is an OpenAI. Now I can actually essentially use Pandas AI, right? Before going there, I would like to show you. I'm going to say data. PD, read CSV. We have our data within your Google Drive. So I'm going to go to Google Drive. This is the one. So it's here in your data science, right? So I'm going to go here. So maybe first of all, mount the Google Drive. So I connect to Google Drive. It does. Takes 10 seconds. Just going to find the file. Okay, we got the drive. It's nothing much. See if it has data set in few files. The data sets that have many orders. Okay, I copy the path. Put it over here. Okay, and then this is the same file we have seen like manually. Let me open it. So you have the same order ID, order date, and all the stuff. Okay. Now that I have a data, and it also shows that, well, I can look at the individual fields. This is how we use Pandas. So essentially, you type things, right? Right. I've been working with Pandas for quite some time. It comes naturally for me to do all of this. But if you're learning Pandas, it's quite some learning time. And you have about 10,000, like 9,104 entries. Okay, very good. And these are all the columns, fields we have. Very good. So typically, so when you want to analyze any data, so this is a retail shop, right? The first thing you do, right, you want to see the sales of, let's say, last year, or maybe the last 4 years. I want to see what's the sales of last 4 years. Typically in Pandas, the way we do that is by data. We want to get into the Pandas structure. I've done a lot of experiments before starting the session. I'll take the command from there. So essentially, look at the date and you aggregate it, group it. Let me see if I can find that. Yep. So this is the one. So you essentially order group by order date and sales, and you aggregate the sum. So essentially, that's going to be your sales. Oh, it aggregated on the yearly basis. There is another one I tried. This one there. I want to do it. It's on a daily basis. I want to do it on the yearly basis. All right. Can we do it? Just a minute. Should I put the date and time for that? That should work with you up here. As I said, the date pattern of value. So essentially, what we got in data is not in date pattern formula. Okay. Other date is actually data. Nevertheless, so I'm going to copy paste this. Maybe it is not taking it as a date time. So you get into this kind of problems. That's one of the things with Pandas. I'm not doing data preparation nowadays. So that's the data. We got it from the same database. But let's look at the PandasAI. Same thing, you simply say data. And you can naturally ask like you normally ask. So what I want to know is, hey, you know what, I want to calculate or calculate sales across of all of the years. How many years you have? 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. All right, so that's all you need to ask. And what it does, it essentially takes this and write something like this, which is still actually not working properly. All right, I can even print it and see it's in better if I print it because it's not very good at it. Print. All right, and you can see that. So the year 2019 is about $484,000. All right, and then it is $470,000, $610,000, $731,000. You got it. See, you have seen that. Instead of working like more than 7 years with Pandas, I mean, last I only worked the initial days. Now I don't work with the Pandas myself, but it's kind of tricky to get what you want. That's exactly where the PandasAI comes in picture. You can literally ask whatever you want. So you can literally ask in natural language, right? Not just this. I can actually ask to, for example, plot data. I can say plot sales, region-wise sales, I would say. Region-wise sales for the year 2021, for example. Let's see what it does. I don't need a print because it's a plot. Let's see what it does. Okay, here we go. So we got the sales. It's fantastic, but I don't have the numbers. I would rather have the numbers at the top so that I can understand. We have 4 regions, as you can see: East, Central, East, South, and West, US. I'm going to ask it, right? No, I don't have numbers, but can you just put annotate figures? You can even ask any way you want, annotate the figures or show the numbers or something like that. I'm expecting it to put the numbers at the top of it so that it will be easy for me to read the sales. All right, so I got that kind of cool. Well, I don't want to have this all the numbers with decimals, right? So I'm going to say round it up, round it to thousands, right? So I would like to see the numbers in thousands. That would be more easy for me. Let's see if it does it. I haven't tried this prompt before, but I expect it should work. All right, so there we go. So we have essentially rounded up, pretty readable on 2021 different sales. You can also do it with category wise. So I can say the same prompt as, you know what, show me on the category wise, not the region wise, because we had category as one of our variables. Let's see if it does the category wise. There we go. So we actually sold more of technology, kind of let's say, so more or less simple. I also want to see the profit, because sales is one thing, profit is completely other thing. So I'm going to say profit. So it's 10,000 records. It's actually doing with a very lightweight Google lab over here, because the cloud free lab, it doesn't have much of power. In spite of all of it, few seconds to generate this. And we can clearly see that technology is the highest profitability. We got about 40K. And then supplies, office supplies is 35, which is still reasonable. Furniture does not make sense. Maybe something wrong. We are doing a lot of sales, but no profit. We should think whether it really want to continue the furniture business. Well, I'm going to see if I can also do the sales and profit in a single plot. Okay, so you can see that, yeah, managed to get the sales and profit in a single plot. This is called as multivariable plot or compound bar graph. So that's your PandasAI, all right? I'll continue, I'll finish. We have 2 more modules to cover in this. This is a single database, all right? So what if you have multiple databases, like what I showed here, right? I have data in 3 different things. I have orders information over here. I have the customer information over here. And I have the product information. Okay. Typically, if you take the Pandas itself, you need to really join them. So it is not, I mean, of course, it is doable. It requires quite some effort. And also, it should be very careful in doing it. We have a lot of different joins and stuff like that, right? How about try to use PandasAI for it, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to import all of these 3 files, which I have it here: customer 20, orders 20, and products 10. I'm going to just copy the same system. Where did I import the actual data? Here, right? Oh, this is the experiment one. I can take it, right? So it's the same code, so I don't have to retype it over. So essentially, I have imported orders 20, customers 20, products 20 in different data frames, as you can see. I can quickly check if it has come correctly. The head command only gives you the top 5, so that we can check that I have this order ID, customer ID, stuff like that. In a similar manner, I'm going to say customers head, and then products. Right? Okay. It becomes a bit tricky because you have orders, right? And then to know who is the customer, you need to take this customer ID and go there and check who is the customer. Want to know more details about the product? You have to take this ID and go here and find the product. Okay. Let's see how Pandas AI can actually handle this. Pandas AI means iPhone, right? Underscore AI. Say I have 3 databases. So let's start with 2 things first: orders and customers. All right. I just put it in a list form in a square bracket, and that's it. Now I can ask whatever I want. Similar way again. I'm going to say who made the highest sale. Okay. With the given data, I want to know who made the highest sale. Well, it might be the name of a person who made the highest sale. Just waiting for it. We have a very tough name, Rosina Hoffman, right? There is this, I think that's the lady. Yeah, here she is, Rosina Hoffman, right? Okay, so I want to ask more, right? That is just one table, so it's not a big deal. So it's actually not the one table because it went into sales. It found the highest sales made by whom, and then it went to the customers, and then it actually got the name of the customer. So I can ask more. So I can say who made the highest sale, what these are name and customer ID. I can say these are because I'm not sure. It's kind of tricky. And I can also ask, say, train. Please help me. I can also ask what products he or she got, right? I'm going to print it so it comes looking nicer. So like naturally, whatever I want to ask, I ask it. I'm just expecting it to, it won't work because, yeah, it actually gave the products only the ID because it doesn't have a connection to the products one. So let me just copy it. It's wonderful. Actually, it has come up with it, right? Come up with this, a name, a customer ID, and it also given the products it got. So I'm going to just put comma and say products. And then I say, what product names? I would say product names. So I'm expecting it to give the names in favorite blocks. Okay, she has got, I would say, list the product names because it has given only one. I guess she would have got more than that. If you go to the orders table, this is all the things she got, right? This ID belongs to our highest sales customer, Rosina Hoffman, right? Let me see what happened there. Okay, so it has given a list. It said the products she has bought is, this is cherry wood. Let me check. So I can just take the customer ID from here and go to the products. Oh, I can just go to the orders first. This customer ID, this is the first product she bought. Going to the products, search products. Yeah, so that's the first one. What's the next one? Okay, this one. So, let's go here again. Take the next one. And I'm going to assume that all the others are right. I mean, I can even ask what's the total sales she bought, and it will probably give it. I think by this time you already understood what PandasAI can do. It can literally answer your questions, connect to the data. Right now we are working with CSV flat files. You can connect to any database, and you can basically talk to it. Right? To make it even more cooler, you can even attach a speech module. For example, I have a speech recognition module. I just took it from a standard Python speech recognition package. All right, this code is directly coming from the Pandas speech recognition. You can Google for it and you find this code. Right. One thing I need to do is that This speech recognition normally does not work with the inbuilt mics because it requires a more, um, so we need to use an external headphone or mic if we have a, all right. So let me see if it can capture my voice. I'm going to just run this. This is in the local system. Another thing you need to remember is that this cloud lab cannot take the speech recognition because it's not connected to your local audio and local native devices, right? It could be made, but I know why Google is not doing it, mostly for the privacy related reasons. So if you want to attach a speech module, so you need to run it locally. It's the same notebook, it's running locally, that's all, right? And this is just a speech module. Hey, I'm trying to see if the speech module is working. I want to experiment the Pandas AI. Great. So you can see that I'm trying to see the speech working. When it is working, I want to try AI, kind of style of the Pandas. So what I could do right now, I could simply copy all of these, like the things, like for example, I can copy. Let's copy this. Hopefully the packages are installed well. Copy this. Well, if it throws any error, normally you don't have the PandasAI installed or whatever, so you could easily install it, right? I can read this. I copied this file of the form. You can see the orders. It's the same CSV file. I just have to remove the path and it should be able to find it. All right, great. So I have the data. I have the Pandas initiator. Now I can simply get, like, let me check if one of the commands are working, what I used before. All right, so let's say this is working. We get the same data, same database. All right, so you have this same database, all right? Good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy this thing, right? I can actually put everything into a while loop, that kind of like an infinite while loop. It keeps on running. Okay, and and then rather than printing this, I'm going to just use this Pandas system. Rather than doing the prompt, I'm going to take it from I'm going to this audio. This one, query. Oh, so just query. Yeah. All right. So let's say, so I've essentially put this Pandas AI query inside a speech module. I want to see if it actually works. There are errors and then we'll fix it. What's the sales of year 2020? Plot the sales versus region for the year 2021. I didn't get time. Plot area-wise, region-wise sales for the year 2020. It's taking time a bit because it's first of all convert my voice speech to text, and then All right, I'm going to interrupt it because I don't know what's happening there. I rather print the query first, right? And see if it actually got the query correct. And then I would rather go into this one. Plot area region-wise sales for the year 2021. Yeah, other area extra. So plot region-wise sales for the year 2020. List the top 10 sales. Okay, so I think you got the point. So this is just a very basic. I interrupted it because it's infinite, like it's never-ending loop, right? So the basic idea behind this is to, am I still audible? All right, because I connected this, but all right, good. So, I just want to introduce that the possibilities, right? It's a very rudimentary model, right? I just showed what is possible. And then you could actually build a lot of things. You can, these are open source products. So you can essentially download from the GitHub, install it yours. Even you're a bank, you have a data privacy issues, no problem, because all of this can be in your infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and you can do amazing things. Let me tell you, most of the decision makers, managers are not tech savvy. All right, so it becomes really tough for them to learn the tools like Tableau or Power BI. There are so many menus. I mean, to go and find these things. Even if you have a great team who is giving you reports or something like that, you're still dependent on them. Like I want to look at the data. I want to talk to the data, because if I talk to the data, then the way I can actually analyze is far better, right? I just want to know, hey, what is the sales of this one? How is the industry doing? What was the sales last year, right? What's the percentage increase? Do you see? I know you can even ask which is a better one, which product perform better. I'm pretty sure all of these will be answered by PandasAI. And because of the speed of the response, your analytical mind will work better. And you can actually make a better analysis and make a better decision. All right. Okay, very good. So that's all for today. I think I have taken, nearly 45 minutes now. Oh, I promise that I'll share this sheet. It's the reason I created this account is to share it because it's a private account just created for this purpose. I'm going to create a link over here. You can say anyone can access this. And I asked the team to put it in the LinkedIn and other channels where it is being streamed. All right, so that's your link. That's the same document I've been using. All right. If you have any further questions, you can always reach me on my LinkedIn. I mean, most of the people have joined from LinkedIn because this is the LinkedIn event, as I know. But some of you joined from other channels. So I'm going to ping my LinkedIn link as well. All right, so here we go. Oh, that's the live which currently happening, isn't it? Good. All right, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to find more time and try to do as many live as I can. It's really exciting for me too. And thanks for all the great questions. Thanks for attending. I wish you a great experiment with this PandasAI. Bye-bye.